Hey everybody, hope you're well and welcome to Walc. I really want to take some time and just walk through why we've decided to use Near to build our accelerator and also our first product, the real-time payment company. There was a lot of research that went into this in trying to discover which is the best layer one, obviously because there's loads of them out there, and there was several factors what it came down to really. Many reasons why we're going to use Near. First of all, we believe it's going to be the best in the future, and for what we needed to do right now, again, it sort of ticked all the box. But if we take a little step back, like 15 years ago, Bitcoin was literally the only layer one blockchain. Today, there's loads. They're popping up all over the place, and with smart contracts, continually delivering better performance and just evolving really over time. The success of the layer one blockchains has really come, how they efficiently solve scalability trilemmas really, achieving decentralization without sort of compromising on security and allowing for scalability. Obviously, Ethereum pops to mind straight away. One of the first cryptocurrency, it's actually the first cryptocurrency that I invested in at $8. I wish I'd kept all that Ethereum. However, I invested in ICOs and all sorts of different things. But it really established itself as a revolutionary. It opened up the doors to sort of DeFi and innovation, and it really brought on lots of millions of users. And it was the standard, if you will. It was the first attempt really to create more usable chains, but it was still failing on being a scalable solution. And in the wake of this, we've obviously seen some competitors arise: Solana, Polygon, Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain. They've all emerged as very, very viable competitors to Ethereum, among which obviously there was Near as well. If we sort of look at how sort of Near stacks up against all the others, I think there's four really key differences really: the technology, tokenomics, ecosystem, and sort of assessing the risk really. So if we sort of delve into the technology, so most layer ones are sort of trying to make up for what Ethereum lacks in, which is the two things: speed and cost and effectiveness. And obviously we've all been stung by those Ethereum fees. Once they used to be really cheap, and then all of a sudden they went through the roof. Cosmos focuses on interoperability, Avalanche on decentralization, and Phantom on throughput, and Solana on DeFi. Near goes for a sort of a more comprehensive solution and tries to deliver on multiple levels. One of the things is obviously the sharding and using that to build usability and scalability. Current Ethereum chain as well, like Solana and Avalanche, have scalability problems, and it's very noticeable. And because of the increased number of transactions and requirements of the consensus and how those mechanism works, this has basically led to higher transaction fees. And obviously when we're trying to move our crypto from A to B, we want to be paying a fraction of whatever crypto we're using. We don't want to be paying super high fees. I think, when was it? I can't remember when it all went a bit crazy. I think I spent nearly $50 to move maybe a couple of $1,000 worth of Ethereum. So to avoid this issue, Near have come up with what they call the Nightshade, which improves upon the classic blockchains by sharding individual blocks instead of the main chain. And then rather work on the network passing through each node, it is split among participating nodes and then runs in parallel. This is very important as we build out the real-time payment solution for the banks, as when it comes to sharding, they want their own private shard, which they know that no public people are on basically, so they know it's secure and safe. Currently Near is boosting its sharding through a partnership with Octopus Network. Octopus allows developers to build specific use case chains known as app chains, which are cross-compatible and connected to Near via the Octopus Bridge, deployed as a smart contract. In addition to Near's plans to introduce dynamic resharding, the final phase of Nightshade will lead to scaling of the network and shards as demand and users increase. So we won't see the same issue that we had with Ethereum. And if we look at this chart, you can just see the block time and also the finality, which is really key. If you look in terms of the metrics versus everybody else, they're absolutely fantastic for Near. The speed of Near's transaction is also improved by a specific algorithm called Doomslug, pretty cool name, which allows finality to be reached faster with fewer validators. And the reason for this is all the other chains are using Byzantine fault tolerance, BFT, consensus algorithms, bit of a mouthful. In ensuring the security and the communication within the network of Near, this approach is quite random really, which is designed to be unpredictable, unbiased, and at least 2/3 of bagged actors. With scalability and security solved there, Near's pathway to decentralization is basically made a lot easier to achieve. For Walc, the speed is critical, and also the security element is monster. So when you're dealing with banks and you want them to trust you, you need to be able to be fast and secure. Through this, we're able to reduce FX wholesale payments from 48 hours to less than 60 seconds using the Near protocol. This will generate a majority of Walc's profits for investing in our accelerator, and all of other projects can obviously take advantage of these benefits by building on Near as well. As chains have moved forward, there's been a big focus for the platforms to be developer friendly. Most depend on the Ethereum virtual machine, EVM, and obviously Ethereum's smart contract language is Celerity. And obviously this is to ensure compatibility with Ethereum and harmonize its smart contracts. This is basically where Near sort of separates itself from the others. Unlike sort of Avalanche, which adopted Celerity to make compatibility with Ethereum easier, Near broke the mold by going full developer first mode by supporting WebAssembly, which is WASM. This basically means developers can port over traditional Web2 apps or write in new dApps and smart contract languages like Java, C, C++, and Rust, which are all really common languages. But at the moment, obviously, Rust developers are worth their weight in gold. Beyond a practical developer first mentality, Near also focused on the user experiences by ditching things like standard public keys for wallets and adopting a handy human readable name that are becoming the first ever profile name wallets. This doesn't follow sort of the traditional paths of Polkadot, Binance or Solana, currently use the numerical keys of 64 characters. Also, processes like onboarding, signing up, and subscriptions to dApps are very user-friendly and mirror the process of traditional Web2, so they still feel really familiar for people. Another sleek difference with the chain is that the Near wallet isn't a browser extension, but when you open it up, it's a browser page like itself, so it feels like you're actually going through to a website. Going back to EVM compatibility, Near flexed major technology through Aurora, developed as a smart contract on Near. Aurora acts as a fully functional standalone network, allowing for shardless, trustless, and permissionless bridging between Ethereum and Near to the layer 2 scaling solutions of other chains. As we can see here with Aurora, transaction speed and transaction costs are significantly less versus the rest of the competition. In terms of the tokenomics, Near obviously have their native token. With that, you've obviously got network security. It's a medium of exchange for services and activities on the platform, transitions fees, and a unit of account. There's also, if you build your own coin, you actually need your Near as you basically use your Near and paying for storage as well. So there are various ways that the utility comes from the Near token. Network security is ensured by staking the Near token, and the unique nature of Near's tokenomics does not allow reordering of transactions with additional fees, like other chains like Solana, Cardano, and Polkadot. Reordering transactions with additional fees enables users to spam the platform with higher gas fees to get their transactions first. That creates congestion, and it also is a spike in gas fees and latency. And if you were part of the ICO craze of 2017, 2018, like everybody was banging up the Ethereum gas fees, and it was just, I missed out on several ICOs, big ones, because there were so many people trying to do it, and obviously some people put their gas fees up super high, so they got through first. With an annual yield of around 11% for stakers, Near has one of the highest yields among the layer ones. The yield applies to both validators and delegators, and the DeFi ecosystem is still opening up, with opportunities to get even higher returns on platforms like Rev Finance. I have actually used Rev Finance, and it's not a bad platform, to be fair. But as you can see here, you can see staking yields and obviously net inflation, and by far again Near pips everybody to the post here. In terms of the ecosystem, some other key things around the Near platform is they did not fly into DeFi. They did not build for profit or money chasers, preferring to sort of engage in an active community with rewards coming in organically. In terms of the developer ecosystem, it's been one of the most impressive achievements I've seen for a long time, with it growing 4 times more than any other chains except for Solana in 2021. Only Binance has seen more rapid growth with at least 400 developers. So basically what this is telling us is Near is getting super popular with developers because they're using those simple languages like C, C++, Rust, etc. So that has made it a lot easier for people to get into Near and develop. The incentive is that people can just dive in straight away because they've got this WebAssembly, and because of that there are directly rewards to them. In terms of some of the things that Near have done, they had the platform's grown significantly, and they had 800 million put into the community via guilds and DAOs through the Near Foundation, more so than anybody else. I went to the Near conference in Lisbon in 2022 in September. It's growing strength from strength because they're supporting projects basically, and it makes it easier for people to start building versus if you're on Ethereum and you've got to go do an ICO, you've got to find the funds yourself to get started, or friends and family. Where with Near, you can, if put an application in, go talk to the guys, show them what you're doing, and then get a milestone grant which will unlock at certain levels, so you can keep building, show them what you're doing, get some more money, show them what you're doing, get some more money, and actually build on the platform. I love that, and I think it's great that they're supporting the community as well. And I think that is a huge element of why we're seeing lots of developers start to kick over to Near, because there's just so many benefits. And the biggest struggle for most projects when they get started is having the money to do it. It was our biggest struggle, and I know from speaking to other people at the Near convention, it was their biggest struggle as well. In terms of the Near protocol itself, it's not without its own loopholes. It's still a long way to go before decentralization of sort of Avalanche and Solana and the validator mass of Polkadot. But with a significantly lower Nakamoto coefficient as compared to others, there's a real clear plan that Near will improve and achieve better decentralization in the not too distant future. So if we look at some of the stats here, they're looking good on that, but they just need way more validators. Obviously Avalanche, Polkadot, Solana, they're more established and therefore more holders and more validators. But I think over time Near will get bigger and bigger and bigger. I suppose there's a couple of things. There's double-edged sword in terms of the Aurora Bridge. Double-edged sword in the sense of it's easy to take a project from another chain to Near, but it also works the other way as well. So people could be very promiscuous in terms of hopping and jumping chains, but I suppose it always gives people the options to be able to do that as well. And again, if one day Near isn't the right option, then we can use the Aurora Bridge to move to another chain. As we are now, we're very happy, and the main reason why we're using Near. In terms of future proofing, there's still a lot of things going on. They still want to go after the competitors. If we just look at like a bit of a summary in terms of where Near at, I mean, they're nowhere near as big as some of the big players here, like Solana at 28 billion. But obviously the night sharding, the WSM, the block times, finality. I mean, there's some really, really positives, and obviously the transaction cost, that's huge. On par with Solana. So they've got some really, really good USPs, really good benefits, and when you stack it up against all the others, it does come out like a little bit of a shining light. And in just under 2 years, they've done so much, and it bodes well for the platform. And I think just more and more people will start to move across. What I wanted to do here is give a little bit of a shout out to Mark Sugden and also David Garcia, the two guys that helped us get our grant with NEAR. Really fantastic. Thank those guys a hell of a lot because they've been so supportful. Working with NEAR, it's given us the kickstart we needed, and really solidified our partnership with them. We're also starting to raise some more funds, so we're now through to Horizon, where we will then be exposed to the VCs of NEAR, and they will have the opportunity to invest in the real-time payment project first before anybody else. I really do think that these will be the players of the future. The conference that I went to in Lisbon was amazing. I met some really amazing people, some amazing projects. I can't wait to go back again in September and see how much it would have grown, and all the energy that was there, because it was really, really good. So just in summary, we're using there because the security through night sharding, the speed is obviously a key thing for us for the transaction speed, low gas fees, minimal operating costs as a business. The foundation have supported us and helped us to grow, unlike other chains. The community and camaraderie and friendship it generates is amazing, and it's another big thing that draws you in. And actually their vision for the future is great, and we buy into it, and their sort of their visions and their values really, and that's really important to us. And as we start to execute the real-time payment software investment banks, it's going to start to become the largest use case of blockchain on the planet, utilizing blockchain and also smart contracts. This is going to help us flourish, and the profits from that particular project will then go back into our accelerator, where we're going to help other projects to flourish as well, and basically take on that mindset and mentality that NEAR have already ingrained, I suppose, into the community. And those are the key reasons why we're building on NEAR.